वरती स्ट्रीम होतंय.
ओके ठीक आहे. मला
ते
लिंक पण
नाही
पाठवून
आलं.
ठेवा एकदा, म्हणजे माझ्याकडे पण राहील म्हणून.
त्या ग्रुपमध्येच पाठवून डायरेक्ट लिंक.
हा ठीक आहे, चालेल.
अजून झालं नाही लाईव्ह. थांबा.
ओके.
येस मॅम, तुम्ही आता स्टार्ट करा
ओके
लेक्चर.
ठीक आहे, एक मिनिट मी फक्त.
मी तुम्हाला होस्ट करतो.
ठीक आहे,
एक
चालेल.
मिनिटानं मग. आता तुम्ही होस्ट आहे. लेक्चर रेकॉर्डिंग पण तुमच्याकडे, आता रेकॉर्डिंगचं ऑप्शन पण
ओके.
खाली ऑप्शन बघा, रेकॉर्डचा दिसतो ऑप्शन. तुम्हाला दिसतो रेकॉर्डिंगचा ऑप्शन मॅम?
एक मिनिट. हा दिसतोय.
हा, रेकॉर्ड करायला सुरुवात करा आणि मीटिंग लाईव्ह आहे इथे. ह्याच्यावरती बघा, इथे बघा दिसतंय लाईव्ह युट्यूब.
हा दिसतंय, इथे युट्यूब वरती दिसतंय.
आणि तुमच्या इथे रेकॉर्डिंगचं दिसतंय हे बटन.
हो.
तुम्हाला तुमची मीटिंग रेकॉर्डिंग पण होते आणि लाईव्ह पण आहे युट्यूबला.
ओके ठीक आहे, थँक्यू स्वप्नील.
आणि तुम्हाला मी ती लिंक पण ह्या चॅट बॉक्स मध्ये टाकून देतो. आता रेकॉर्डिंग तुम्ही स्टॉप केले मॅडम.
हो, मी स्टॉप केले आता.
हा, आता तुम्ही स्टार्ट करा लेक्चर. मग मी एंड करतो, इथून
ओके.
बंद करतो.
सो चैट बॉक्स मध्ये यू हैव द लिंक फॉर यूट्यूब लाइव. जिन लोगों के क्लासेस रूम में ये मीटिंग का ये अभी फुल हो जाएगा, 95 हो गया है ना, देयर इज ओनली 4 पीपल कैन ज्वाइन. तो उसके बाद के जिनको अभी ज्वाइन करना है दे कैन गो फॉर यूट्यूब लाइव. ओके. सो ये जो लिंक है अपने अपने ग्रुप्स में डाल दो, सारे डिवीजन वाले, SYABCDE. ओके. एंड वी आर स्टार्टिंग नाउ विद द कैपिटल बजटिंग. So our unit number 4, which is capital budgeting, till now what you have learned is, we have learned vertical balance sheet, we have learned analysis of vertical revenue statement, and then the analysis of both of these with common size, comparative, and trend analysis. With that, we have done the ratio analysis, and the third chapter that we did is working capital management. Right now, we are starting with the capital budgeting. Okay, so we are here we go. Desktop share. Can you all see my screen? Just update me if you can see it or not. Can you? Okay, fine, good. Thank you. Let's start. So what do you mean by capital budgeting? Capital budgeting is the process of making investment decision in a long-term assets or courses of actions. What that means. So if any person wants to make a decision कि आगे वाके मुझे ये particular investment खरीदना चाहिए या नहीं लेना चाहिए, ठीक है? For example, if I decide कि मुझे आगे जाके एक particular machinery में investment चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए, because we all know that machineries tend to depreciate over a period of time, right? So what we need to have is, we need to have a clear information, right? कि over the period of time ये machine हमें कितना returns देगा, and वो find out करने का perfect, or you can say a modern version of finding out the returns on your investment is capital budgeting. ठीक है? आज मैंने अगर 1 लाख रुपए खर्चा किया तो 10 साल के बाद वो 1 लाख का मुझे रिटर्न्स कितना आ रहा है, ये फाइंड आउट करने का सबसे आसान तरीका भी बोल सकते हो, और सबसे best way to find out the returns on your investment is capital budgeting. Am I clear? Am I clear? So ये मेरे को भी YouTube वाले तो नहीं पता चलेंगे कहाँ पे है, but is this clear to the here those people are over here? Okay, now let's move to the next part. What the next part says. So this is what our YouTube पे there are 9 people, so I have on that also. तो अगर किसी को doubt रहेगा YouTube वालों को तो they can also ask. ठीक है? So next it was, capital expenditure incurred today is expected to bring in its benefits over a period of time. These expenditures are related to the acquisitions and improvement of fixed assets. This all the capital budgeting. अगर मैं तुम लोगों को best example दूँ ना, so हमारे पास 10,000 रुपया है, तो और हमारे पास दो ऑप्शन है कि हम बैंक में जाके भी डिपॉजिट कर सकते हैं या फिर हम किसी प्रोजेक्ट के लिए फाइनेंस भी कर सकते हैं। बैंक में अगर जाके डिपॉजिट करते हैं तो हमें 6.5% इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा, और अगर किसी प्रोजेक्ट को जाके फाइनेंस करते हैं तो हमें उसके ऊपर 12% रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट मिलेगा। सो नाउ इट इज अप टू अस, बिकॉज दोनों जगह पे वी कैन नॉट इन्वेस्ट, वी कैन ओनली इन्वेस्ट इन वन। सो कैपिटल बजटिंग का रूल्स यूज करके या कैपिटल बजटिंग के मेथड्स यूज करके we can find out in long run which particular investment is going to give us best returns। ठीक है, सो ये दोनों तरीके से, ये मतलब इसमें बहुत से तरीके, एनपीवी है, एआरआर है, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, लॉट ऑफ मेथड्स where we can use those methods and we can find out which particular type of investment is best for us to get the desired returns that we are expected or we are expecting out of our जो भी funds हमारे पास है उसके लिए। ठीक है, capital budgeting is the planning of expenditure and the benefits, which spread over a number of years. It is the process of deciding whether or not to invest in a particular project. As the investment possibilities may not be rewarding, yes, sometimes it is possible. जैसे कि अगर बड़े-बड़े companies है, बड़े-बड़े MNCs है, तो उनके लिए हमेशा it is always, मतलब for them it is always about how much returns they are getting. They cannot think like us, right? We like a human beings, what we do is we are like, okay fine, मेरा पैसा बढ़ नहीं रहा है, एटलीस्ट वो सेम रहा है तो भी चलेगा, लेकिन मेरा पैसा डूबना नहीं चाहिए। But it is not the same case when it comes to the business, okay? Or those people who are running MNCs, उनके लिए क्या होता है, उनके लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ये है कि उनका पैसा बढ़ना चाहिए, उनको मैक्सिमम रिटर्न्स आने चाहिए ऑन द अमाउंट दैट दे आर इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू द पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट और पर्टिकुलर जो भी कैपिटल बजट मतलब या जो भी है। ठीक है, दे आर स्टार्टिंग अ न्यू प्लांट और दे आर स्टार्टिंग अ न्यू फैक्ट्री, तो उस सब चीजों में, या फिर इवन अ व्हाट यू कैन कॉल इट, अगर आप कोई भी ऐसी एक चीज के लिए उनको पैसा दे रहे हो जहां से रिटर्न्स आने की ये है पॉसिबिलिटीज है, तो उनको वहां से मैक्सिमम रिटर्न्स चाहिए होता है। ठीक है, द मैनेजर हैज टू चूज अ प्रोजेक्ट व्हिच गिव्स अ रेट ऑफ रिटर्न व्हिच इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज average rate of return, then a return which is more than the cost of financing the project. For this, the manager has to evaluate the worth of the project in terms of cost and benefits. The benefits of the expected cash inflows from the project, which are discounted against a standard and generally the cost of capital. This is what we need to find out, और वही हम सब अभी सीखने वाले हैं। ठीक है, आज हम लोग सारे मेथड सीखते हैं और कल से we'll start with the solutions or the question answers. Okay. Capital budgeting techniques. There are two ways. Okay. One is a traditional method, another one is a discounted cash flow methods. दोनों मेथड हम लोग यूज करते हैं, so दोनों मेथड सीखना उतना ही important है। The capital budgeting appraisal methods are techniques of evaluation of investment proposal will help the company to decide upon the desirability. Yes, I am taking online lecture only because that much time we don't have for the offline lectures this because you have exam from 3rd, right? And now your AKT exams are also starting from 22nd. So with no option left, we are taking online lectures for capital budgeting. Company to decide upon the desirability of an investment proposal depending upon their relative income, generating capacity, and rank them in order to their desirability. These methods provide the company a set of norms. Norms means on which basis they can go ahead to, or they can take a decision which particular project they should finance or they should invest in. Okay, the most widely accepted techniques are these two, that is traditional methods and discounted cash flow methods. दोनों methods easy है, कोई difficulty नहीं है. You just have to know the multiplication and like you all know that management accounting is majorly about your plus, minus, multiplications and divisions. ये अगर आपको perfectly आता है, then there is no other easier accounts than management accounting. But you need to be very perfect with these things. Okay. So traditional methods में क्या है? The first thing that is, these methods are based on the principles of determining the desirability of an investment project on the basis of its useful life and expected returns. These methods depend upon the accounting information available from the books of accounts of the company. ये हमेशा हर एक बुक के like जो भी आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करते हैं वो अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट के पास ये रिजल्ट या ये अकाउंट्स मेंटेन रहता है. सो ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग they will give you the information. And the first thing or the first particular ratio that we are going to learn, or the method is payback period method. It is the most popular and widely recognized traditional method of evaluating this investment proposals. It can be defined as the number of years required to recover the original cash outlay invested in a project. What that means? मतलब अगर मैंने 10,000 रुपया इन्वेस्ट करा है और मेरा एक्सपेक्टेड है कि 10 साल में, आई एम थिंकिंग कि मुझे 10 साल में आई एम फाइंडिंग आउट कि कब कितने मेरे को पैसे रिटर्न, मतलब कब तक मेरे को पैसे रिटर्न आएंगे, तो उस 10 साल में से कौन से ईयर में मेरा इन्वेस्टमेंट मुझे रिटर्न मिल रहा है, दैट इज व्हाट इज पे बैक पीरियड इज. ठीक है, दैट इज व्हाट दे आर सेइंग. आई थिंक तुम लोगों को समझा मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ या नहीं समझा? समझा है कि नहीं समझा व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? इट इज लाइक कि अगर मैंने जस्ट फॉर एग्जाम्पल I have spent or I have invested 1 lakh rupees for a particular project, okay? Or every year I am getting 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, for example, ठीक है? So first year मुझे 20 मिला, second year मेरे को 20 मिला, third year मेरे को 20 मिला. I am expecting कि 10 साल तक मुझे रिटर्न्स आने वाले, right? तो मुझे कौन सा ऐसा ईयर है जिस वक्त मुझे अपना पूरा का पूरा इन्वेस्टमेंट रिटर्न आ जाएगा? So अभी हम लोग ऐसा देख रहे तो हमें पता चलता है कि ये 5वें साल में ही रिटर्न आएगा, बिकॉज हर साल 20,000 रुपए आया, राइट? सो बट देयर आर मेथड्स जिससे आपको एग्जैक्टली आप ये बता सकते हो कि कौन से महीने में या कितने महीनों में, कितने दिनों में यू आर गेटिंग द रिटर्न्स. ओके, दैट इज व्हाट योर पे बैक पीरियड इज. सो उसके डेफिनेशन है, रिमेंबर इसके डेफिनेशंस याद करना, बिकॉज एग्जाम में यू माइट गेट अ क्वेश्चन लाइक एक्सप्लेन पे बैक पीरियड एंड उसका मेरिट्स एंड डिमेरिट्स. ओके, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू वेस्टर्न एंड रिगम, what do you mean by payback period is? The payback period is the number of years it takes the firm to recover its original investment by net returns before depreciation but after taxes. ये सारे notes लिख के लेना because I am not sharing the PDF notes. ठीक है? Those who have it, please write it down in your book. That's why I asked you to get your notebooks with you. Write it down, and if you want, you can take a screenshot and afterwards you write down. I have no worries, but ये लिखना तुम लोगों को जरूरी है. Okay? As he also say the same thing, the payback period is the number of years it takes the firm to recover its original investment. Original investment मतलब जो मैंने initially पैसा दिया है, okay, for investment, that money return कब आता है, but उसके लिए condition क्या है? Before depreciation but after taxes. मतलब अगर तुम लोगों को net profit आफ्टर टैक्सेस वाला दिया होगा तो उसमें से तुम लोगों को क्या करना पड़ेगा, उसमें डिप्रिसिएशन वापस एड बैक करना पड़ेगा, एंड देन यू हैव टू गेट दैट प्रॉफिट इनटू कंसीडरेशन टू कैलकुलेट द कैश फ्लो. ठीक है, कैश फ्लो क्या होता है बताती हूँ बाद में आएगा. नेक्स्ट इज अकॉर्डिंग टू जेम्स सी वनहॉर्ने, the payback period is the number of years required to recover initial cash investment. So this is also another definition that you have for the payback period. Anyone, or if you write down both the definitions, no worries, you can write down both the definitions. Okay, और नीचे हमारा है formula. I will give you the easy formula. Payback period is equals to cost of investment divided by cash inflows per annum. Okay, that is your annual cash inflow. अगर तुम लोगों को ये ऊपर वाला समझ में नहीं आ रहा है ना, cash outlay और original cost outlay, तो that is easier way में आप उसको लिख सकते हो cost of investment divided by cash inflow per annum. ठीक है, जिनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है उनके लिए just write it down. Payback period is equals to cost of investments divided by cash inflow per annum. Per annum is per year. Now next, what are the advantages and disadvantages of payback period? First, it is one of the earliest methods of evaluating the investment projects. Yes, this is one of the easiest also. Okay, और सबसे पहली find out की गई method है, so उसके लिए सबका one of the kind of favorites also with the management. Then it is simple to understand and to compute. या यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा like you don't have to do a lot of complications नहीं है accounting के. You have lot easier way to do the calculations here. Then it does not involve any cost of computation of the payback period. It does not have widely. It is one of the widely used methods in small scale industry sector because they can only afford this. Small scale industry में पैसा कम होता है, so उनके लिए this is one of the easiest way. वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा mistake हुआ है while writing down those pointer का numbers. Just make it correct because वो 5 point है, वो सिर्फ 1 2 और 1 2 3 हुआ है. Just make it 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. it can be computed on the basis of accounting information available from the books. Yeah, आपको इसके लिए कहीं और जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Whatever has been there in your accounting books, you can do the things with that particular book itself. Okay. Now demerits. What are the disadvantages? This method fails to take into account the cash flows received by the company after the payback period. Because sometimes it is possible ना, because ऐसा हो सकता है कि कभी कभी नहीं आता, कभी कभी नहीं आता ना सर. जैसे कि क्या बोल, कैसे बोल सकती हूँ. वेट, आई विल टेक द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ना, उसमें इसमें ये पहला वाला पॉइंट समझ में आ जाएगा. सेकंड इज इट डज नॉट टेक इनटू अकाउंट इन interest factor involved in an investment outlay. Yes, this is one of the biggest factor, because कि हम लोग कभी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हैं ना तो उसके ऊपर हमें इंटरेस्ट आता है. राइट, आता है ना कि नहीं आता? there's a interest expense है, interest income. हाँ, नसीब याद है. Next, it doesn't take into account the interest factor involved in an investment outlay. ये पॉइंट 2 बार आ गया. ओ, वहां पे एक थर्ड वाला पॉइंट चेंज करो. जस्ट राइट डाउन द थर्ड नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. Write down the third point. The selection of the time period within which an acceptable project must recover its cost is arbitrary. Arbitrary is mandatory. ठीक है. तो यहाँ पे जो टाइम उन लोगों ने सिलेक्ट करा है, लाइक 5 years 10 years, उसमें वो और पैसा रिकवर करना मैंडेटरी हो जाता है. दैट इज ऑल्सो डिमेरिट्स है, बिकॉज समटाइम इट इज नॉट मार्केट का कंडीशन एंड एवरी अदर थिंग डज नॉट रिमेन सेम. सो इसीलिए क्या हो जाता है, इट इज नॉट इजी फॉर ऑलवेज टू कंसिडर. Yes, Shravani, it is important for the exam. Every chapter is important for the exam. You have questions on each chapter. It is not consistent with the objective of maximizing the market value of the company's share. And lastly, it fails consider the pattern of cash inflows, that is the magnitude and the timing of cash. कौन है रे ये? Who is this? Okay, now let's start. Next it is, shall we do one question of payback period? एक क्वेश्चन करे पेबैक पीरियड का. ओके चलो, लेट्स स्टार्ट. या विल डू वन क्वेश्चन. एक मिनट, जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड. Okay, so here we start. What the question is, I'm writing the question because तुम लोगों के पास question शायद नहीं होगा, right? The cost of personal computer including computer including installation amounts to rupees 1 lakh. This is to be used for now. Who is this writing on my this thing? Because अगर तुम लोगों को नहीं सीखना है, you can leave the meeting at any given point of time. Just don't disturb my screen. ठीक है? I hope I'm clear with that. Right? Who has taken the control? Okay, now you can't do anything. Commercial purpose and the net profit. We'll just make it text block. Okay. After, just give me 2 minutes. I will just write down the question so that we can do the question very well. Depreciation on the straight line basis. At 12.5% per annum for the machine. Expected to be is 15,000 per annum. The net profit is subjected Okay, is the question clear with everyone? Okay, see, page number is see, I have a very old book and reference book, so I don't know the question is there in your book or not. Okay, so please check. ये जहाँ पे तुम लोगों का payback period रहेगा उसके बाद का next question ही है. Okay, what the question suggest? Total cost of personal computer including installation, anything, मतलब हमें पता है कि installation charges are always included into the cost of machinery, right? So we will consider that particular charge in the cost of machinery. So 1 lakh is the cost of investment that we are having. This is to be used for commercial purpose, and the net profit after providing depreciation on the straight line basis at 12.5% per annum for the machine is expected to be 15,000 per annum. मतलब net profit उन्होंने आपको दिया हुआ है, ठीक है, that is after depreciation, and उन्होंने आपको income tax दिया हुआ है, the rate is 50%. What you need to find out, हमने अभी देखा ना कि अगर आपको पेबैक पीरियड फाइंड आउट करना है तो हमें नेट प्रॉफिट कौन सा चाहिए? नेट प्रॉफिट after tax but before depreciation. How to calculate that now? See, so if we are having net profit after tax and tax का परसेंटेज क्या दिया हुआ है? 50%. मतलब ये जितना है उतना ही आपका क्या होगा? टैक्स रहेगा, राइट? It is 15,000. एड, अभी हमेशा हम लोग लेस करते हैं ना, अभी ऐड करना पड़ेगा टैक्स एट द रेट. वो कितना दिया है हमें? 50% दिया. पर 50% ऑफ व्हाट? प्रॉफिट. प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स का 50% है ना वो. दैट विल गिव यू नेट प्रॉफिट. एक मिनट, नेट प्रॉफिट आफ्टर प्रोवाइडिंग डेप्रिसिएशन है. ओके फाइन, सॉरी, आफ्टर depreciation. Okay, then we have to have, नहीं तो फिर ये लेस हो जाएगा. Less tax at the rate of 50%, that will give you net profit after tax. And उसमें हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We will add back the depreciation again. Depreciation आपको calculate करना पड़ेगा. Okay, now 15,000 के ऊपर 50% tax is how much? 7,500. Isn't it? Correct है ना? 15,000 के ऊपर 50% is 7,500. So balance कितना आएगा? Net profit after tax will be 7,500 only. Okay. Now we have to add the depreciation here. Depreciation कैसे calculate करोगे? You need to use the formula. स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड है, दो मेथड्स है ना हमारे पास डेप्रिसिएशन के, एक स्ट्रेट लाइन है और रिटर्न डाउन है. अभी यहाँ पे मैंने क्लियरली मेंशन किया है स्ट्रेट लाइन मेथड, तो व्हाट विल डू 1 लाख इंटू 12.50%. नाउ फाइंड आउट और बताओ कितना आता है डेप्रिसिएशन. व्हाट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन? व्हाट विल बी द अमाउंट ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन? What will be the amount of depreciation? 12,500. Okay. So that we have to add. Add करना होता है तो amount positive है, right? 12,500. So total कितना आएगा? जो total आएगा that will be considered as net profit after tax before depreciation, जिसको आप और क्या बोल सकते हो? कैश इनफ्लो. ओके, पर एनम. जो आता कितना है, अभी आया कितना है 20,000 ना, रुपीज 20,000. ओके, एंड नाउ वी कैन यूज द फॉर्मूला. फॉर्मूला क्या बोलता है अपना? व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? पे बैक पीरियड पेबैक पीरियड का फार्मूला अब भी देता है, तुम लोगों को भी भूल गए ना तुम लोग. वेरी गुड. कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट डिवाइडेड बाय कैश इनफ्लो पर एनम. करेक्ट है? नाउ वी नो द कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना है. Okay, what is the cost of investment given to us? 1 lakh. And what is the cash inflow per annum? 20,000. Right? Yes. So 1 lakhs divided by 20,000 is 2 lakhs. Is how much? 5 years. So our payback period comes to the 5 years. Is the question clear? Is the question clear? Those who are watching on the YouTube, is the question clear to you? You can, if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box of the YouTube. I can still answer your queries. Those who are there on the YouTube, okay? Okay. Ma'am, how we got 20,000? Okay, that is the biggest question, na Pranav? Right. See, we have been provided with the profit, net profit after depreciation, which is given as 15,000 per annum, right? Depreciation के बाद, do you remember the format of vertical revenue statement? अगर याद है तो सबसे लास्ट में we do go for the tax, right? So उससे पहले वाला तुम्हारा जो प्रॉफिट है that is 15,000, उसमें से टैक्स को माइनस किया, then we get net profit after tax, then we add back the depreciation. Why? Because the cash inflow does not consider your depreciation as an expense or as a reserve. Okay, it is a part of your cash inflow. Cash inflow मतलब returns per year out of the investments. ठीक है? 1 लाख कितना आता है प्रशांत? It's 12,500 ना? It's 12,500, isn't it? कैलकुलेटर पे कर. 1 lakhs into 12.50% कितना आता है देख. प्रशांत करके देख, डाउट मत रख. आया क्या? Okay, great. So are we here? सब लोग यहाँ तक payback period का formula is clear with all. And we will do more questions, but just to clear the concept. Saloni Singh raised a hand. Why? Do you have any doubt? Okay, ठीक है. चलो फिर. Let's start with the next one. Let's learn the next formula. Okay, fine. That's okay, Saloni. Let's move to the next formula, which is accounting average rate of return. It is an accounting method which uses the accounting information repeated by the financial statements to measure the profit probability of an investment proposal. It can be determined by dividing. Yeah, that's correct, Kamal Kishore. 7,500 plus 12,500 is 20,000. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. थोड़ा सा फास्ट करेगा तो हम लोग थोड़ा जल्दी खत्म कर सकते हैं चैप्टर. Okay. So by dividing the average income after taxes by the average investment, that is average book value after depreciation, जो अभी हमने करा, that is what they are saying. According to Solomon, accounting rate of return on an investment can be calculated as the ratio of accounting net income to the initial investment, जिसका formula तुम्हें नीचे दिया हुआ है. दिया है formula? दिया है कि नहीं दिया है? Just read it. So ARR, accounting rate of return का shortcut is ARR. तो जनरली कभी अगर आपको बुक में या क्वेश्चन में कहीं पे क्वेश्चन में अगर मेंशन्ड है ARR, then don't get confused. It is that means accounting rate of return. ठीक है? So, उसका फॉर्मूला क्या है? Average net income after taxes divided by average investment into 100. उसमें भी अगर तुम लोगों को न्यूमरेटर और डिनोमिनेटर अलग अलग फाइंड आउट करना है, how you can do that? Average income after taxes will be found out by total income of after taxes divided by number of years, and average investment we all know, total investment divided by 2, you will get the average investments. Okay, again इसका भी merits and demerits है for your like exam purpose के लिए. If there is a theory questions on it, you should know the answer to write it down. So इसीलिए whenever the question comes on any of the methods, what you need to write down is definition, उसके थोड़ा सा explanation for it, then merits and demerits. ठीक है, either 3 to 4 points in the each merits and demerits. Okay, now let's see. On the basis of this method, the company can select all those projects whose ARR is higher than the minimum rate established by the company. Company always keeps some target ना कि इतना return तो हमें मिलना ही चाहिए. तो उससे high जिस जो particular project से मिल रहा है, वो project company will select for the investment. It can reject the project with an ARR lower than the expected rate of return. This method can also help the management to rank the proposal on the basis of ARR. A highest rank will be given to project with highest ARR, whereas a lowest rank with project with the lowest ARR. तो अभी जब हम find out करेंगे तब हमें पता चलेगा कौन से वाले इसको highest है और कौन से वाले project को lowest ARR है. What are the merits of it? First, it is a very simple to understand and calculate. Yeah, because इसमें कुछ majorly हमें करना नहीं है. Only the one thing that you need to keep in mind is a formula. ठीक है? Again, same as payback period, इसका डेटा आराम से आपके पास जो अकाउंटिंग का लोग है उनके पास आपको मिल जाएगा. It uses the entire stream of earning to calculate the ARR, and demerits are it is not based on cash flows generated by the project. Yes, because it actually does not consider what is the income generated by the project during that whole period, okay, or after the investments wala. This method does not consider the objective of wealth maximization, because koi bhi company, the first thing that is there in their mind when before giving away the investment is to increase their wealth, right? Koi bhi, even if it is not a company, it is a human, we always have that one thing in our mind that we want to increase our wealth. It ignores the length of the project's useful line, like machinery है 20 साल के बाद खराब हो जाएगी, तो ये चीज ये पर्टिकुलर मेथड में इग्नोर हो जाती है. It does not take into account the fact the profits can be reinvested. Yes, because अगर मुझे इस साल 20,000 रुपया मिला I can reinvest it into some other project and can increase the value of that profit also. मतलब that profit money also. वो यहाँ पे consider नहीं किया जाता. Is the ARR thing is clear? Is the ARR thing is clear? हे भगवान, सब लोग सो गए क्या? Okay. Now we are starting with the second methods into capital budgeting. That is, we will do the ARR ka question also, but abhi I actually wanted to finish the theory today. That's why we just move a little quickly. And tomorrow we'll do all the questions. Okay? Tomorrow we'll do all the questions. The discounted cash flow methods. There are 3 to 4 new methods that you have. First, it is net present value method. This is one of the most favorite method. Okay? The NPV takes into consideration the time value of money, because this is something that is very, very, very important when it comes to the current age accounting. Okay? The cash flows are for different years. This particular chapter is useful even those people who are thinking of doing MCOM. So वहाँ पे भी ये chapter वापस आएगा. The cash flows of different years and valued differently and made comparable in terms of present values. For this, the net cash inflows of various periods are discounted using required rate of return, which is predetermined. Yes, यहाँ पे पहले से ही decided होता है कि कितना return आने वाला है. ठीक है? It's already decided कि 10% आएगा, 12% आएगा, 15% आएगा, and then accordingly the calculations have been done. According to Ezra Solomon, it is a present value of future returns discounted at the required rate of return minus the present value of the cost of the investment. So when we are doing the question, that time you'll understand this particular statement more clearly. But till then, I'll tell you what it is. It is कि आज के दिन में cash inflow का value क्या है minus the amount that we are investing right now into the project. That gives you the NPV. NPV is net present value of the project. Okay. So this is how it has been calculated. We don't do actually C1, C2, C3. We have a little different formula that we use. So which I will give you. But iska merits and demerits ka just take the this thing. क्या बोल सकते हैं उसको? Take a screenshot of it, merits and demerits, because question exam में they can ask you the question of explain the merits and demerits of NPV. ठीक है? So इसका screenshot लेके रखना. It recognizes the time value of money. It is based on the entire cash flows generated during the useful life of the asset, which probably like कितना होता है 10 to 15 years, not more than that, because machine है. और कभी electricity वाला कोई item होता है तो it depends upon the life or the longevity or use of that particular asset. Okay? It is consistent with the objective maximization of wealth of the owners. Yes, because it considers the truest or the fairest way to calculate the value of asset or value of returns on assets. The ranking of projects is independent of the discount rate used for determining the present value. Yes, that is also there. We have the discounting rate which is given to us to calculate the NPV. Demerits में it is different to understand and use. Yes, थोड़ा सा payback period वगैरह जैसे easy है ना, वैसे easy नहीं है. But the one thing is that if it is understood, it is nothing like that. The NPV is calculated by using the cost of capital as a discount rate, but the concept of cost of capital is self-sufficient to understood and determined. It does not give solutions when the comparable projects are involved in different amounts of investments. Yes. So अगर ऐसा है कि एक particular investment is of 10 lakhs और दूसरे में 11 lakhs का करने वाले हो, तो वो वहां पे आपको comparison करने नहीं देता, because the investment amounts are different, right? So वहां पे वो allow नहीं करता. आपके investment amount same है, then you can do the comparisons of on the basis of for the returns by using this particular method. It does not give correct answer to a question whether the alternative project or limited funds are available with the unequal lines. Yeah, that is also there. Next we have is internal rate of return method. This is called as IRR. The IRR for an investment proposal is a discounted rate which equates the present value of the cash inflows with the present value of the cash outflows of an investment. What is cash inflow and what is cash outflow? cash inflow is nothing but the returns that you receive after the investment, after you make the investment, and cash outflow is the investment that you make. ठीक है, आपसे जो पैसा जा रहा है for the purpose of investment is called as cash outflow, and जो आपको investment के बाद पैसा मिल रहा है that is called as cash inflows. Okay, according to Weston and Bingham, the internal rate is the interest rate that equates the present value of the expected future receipts of the cost of the investment outlay. Outlay is currently जो हम पैसा दे रहे हैं for the investment purpose वो. The IRR is not a predetermined rate, rather it is to be a trial or error method. Yeah, because वो change होता रहता है ना, आपके market conditions change हो जाएंगे तो आपका return change हो जाएगा. You cannot guarantee a particular return. जैसे बाकी के इसमें ये लोग कहते हैं ना, हाँ ठीक है कंसिडर करते हैं कि इतना रिटर्न तो आएगा ही आएगा, वैसे यहाँ पे नहीं होता. ठीक है, so then we have merits and demerits of this also. It considers the time value of money. It takes into account the cash flow over the entire useful life of the asset. जैसे उस ऊपर वाले के थे उस वैसे ही सेम टू सेम इसके भी merits and demerits है, and they are all same, मतलब majority are the same. सिर्फ demerits में ना इधर एक चीज है that it involves very complicated computation work, because इसका formula ही थोड़ा सा अजीबो मतलब what you can, it is little bit tricky you can say. ठीक है, आपको पता और थोड़ा सा difficult, you can call it difficult if you want. ठीक है, that kind of a thing here we have. Okay, PI we will do tomorrow because otherwise आज के लिए थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाएगा. Take a screenshot of it, we will do it tomorrow. ठीक है, take a screenshot of it, we will do it tomorrow. Merits तो है ना यहीं पे. This is PI, that is profitability index method. We have total 5 methods with us, and we'll start with the question answers tomorrow. Okay, I will share the questions जो भी है उसका PDF में भेज दूंगी. So share it with the, I will give it to the G class, उनसे आप लोग ले लेना. ठीक है, I hope you have taken the screenshots. Okay, so we'll stop here for the day. Today we have done 4 methods but only theory. Tomorrow onwards, tomorrow onwards same time 6 o'clock we'll do the practical questions which I am going to share with you all. ठीक है, कल से try to ask all those people who are there, ठीक है, in your class to attend the lectures, because it's not easy to do the calculations without attending. ठीक है, if they don't attend we are helpless, but at least try. Okay, so let's stop here for the day.